Good. I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's warm here today. It's about 23, 24 degrees. So very nice. Not too hot, but not cold either. What is the temperature in Hanoi today, Phung Ni?
It's 26 degrees.
Oh, wow, warmer than here. 26. Wow, it's got warm very fast. Okay, hello, Nok 2.
Hello, teacher.
How are you, Nok 2?
I'm fine.
Good. And who else can I see? Hello, Anji. Hello, Anji. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, teacher.
How are you, Anji?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Hello, Kang Ling. Kang Lin.
Hello,
Hello, Kang Ling. How are you?
I'm still good. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for asking. Can you please turn your camera on, Kang Ling?
Okay.
You too, please, Anji. Okay, good. I can see you, Anji. Thank you. Just waiting for Kang Ling. So Mrs. Ha tells me she is driving at the moment, but she will join us shortly. She's coming back from visiting her parents. I can see you now, Kang Ling. Thank you. Have you had a good week, Kang Ling?
Yes, still
Yeah.
good.
Good. That's good. Glad to hear it. Okay. I can see, Tra Mi is coming. Hello, Tra Mi.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, how are you, Tra Mi?
I'm fine, thank you. A little bit tired.
A little bit tired. Okay. Not too tired to enjoy the class. I hope. I hope. Okay, I can't see you, Tra Mi. Can you turn your camera on, please?
Teacher, please wait for me a minute.
Sure. Okay, everybody. While we are waiting for Tra Mi to turn the camera on. I was going to start, but I won't just yet. Hello, I can see you now, Tra Mi, thank you. Hello, Viet An, how are you?
Hello, teacher. I'm good.
Good, glad to hear it. And who else is there? I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Phung Lin. Hello, Phung Lin.
Hi, teacher.
How are you, Phung Lin?
I'm well. Thank you.
Good. Okay, just make sure there's no one I'm missing. Okay, can you turn your camera on, please, Phung Lin? Eight, 9, 10. Okay, thank you, Phung Lin. We missed you last week. I don't think you were here, is that right? Hello, Phung Lin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we missed you last week, Phung Lin. I think, is that right? You weren't here last week.
Yes, I was here.
Okay. It's good to have you back this week. Thank you. Okay, everyone, welcome to class for this morning. I hope everyone is well and not too tired. So we will start straight away. I will show you the program that we're going to have today and the sort of program, in fact, that we're going to have for the next month or so. All right, I hope everyone can see this now. What we're going to be doing from now is I will review our writing exercise, the graph from last week. Then for the next 3 or 4 weeks, we are going to concentrate on speaking. Okay, I think we've spent enough time on writing and enough time looking at this particular graph. I think you should all know basically how to do the graph by now. Of course, if you don't, or you have any questions, then please let me or Mrs. Ha know, okay? Always very happy to answer your questions. So if you have any questions or any doubts about anything, please ask, okay? Because I want you to be able to feel free to ask anytime about anything to do with English. I want you to understand, because we are looking at the basics of these. And if you don't have a good foundation for these lessons, it will be hard for you later on. So anything you are not sure about, please let me know. And as I say, we're going to be concentrating on, for the next few weeks, on speaking. Okay, so we're going to get started with this, our fun phrase of the week. Bao Ling. Bao Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Bao Ling, can you read this week's fun phrase, please?
Yes. Fun phrase of the week: under the weather. Informal. If someone is under the weather, they are feeling ill. If someone says they are feeling under the weather, your response should be hope you feel better. Not would you like to borrow my umbrella?
Okay, thank you. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you, Bao Ling. Okay, so under the weather. Some of you might be familiar with this. Okay, under the weather means you are feeling sick or feeling ill in English. If someone says, I feel under the weather, just means they feel sick or ill. Okay, Feng Ni.
Yes.
Okay, Feng Ni, can you remember what food coma means, please?
Food coma means you eat too much.
You eat too much, that's right, and you feel sick. You eat too much and you feel sick. Very good. Knock two.
Yes.
Okay, what does not out of the woods yet mean, knock two?
I don't
Can you
know.
remember?
No, I don't know. Let's go.
You can't remember. Okay, Anji, can you remember?
I can't remember.
Okay, Kang Lin.
Not out the good yet mean I don't have any problem yet. Like that.
The opposite, Kang Ling, the opposite.
Opposite
Yeah.
mean I have a problem.
Yes, means we still have a problem. We still have a problem. Trami.
Yes.
Trami, can you give me a sentence using the phrase not out of the woods yet? Can you try?
Yes. I can't solve the math. I can solve this math subject, so I'm feeling not out of the wood yet.
Okay, good try, Trami. Okay, so everyone, not out of the woods yet means you still have a problem. You are still in trouble. So Trami's example was, I can't solve this math problem yet. I'm not out of the woods yet. Okay, so it means you are still in trouble. You still have some problem. So to be in the woods, and remember, woods is a synonym for forest, for trees. So if you are lost in the trees, if you are lost in the forest, means you have a problem, of course, because you don't know where you are. So if you are stuck in the woods, you are not out of the woods yet, it means you still have a problem. That's all it means. Does that make sense to you now, Noktu?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so if you are stuck in the woods or you are not out of the woods yet, just means you still have a problem. The government could say the economy is not out of the woods yet, means the economy of the country still has a problem. And as I said before, food coma means you have eaten too much and you feel sick. Oh, I ate too much at the birthday party last night. I'm in a food coma. It just means I feel sick. And under the weather, if you say to someone, oh, I'm feeling under the weather, means I feel ill. I feel ill. Okay, so they are 3 fun phrases we've learned so far. All of these phrases that I'm teaching you are very common in spoken English, very common. Okay, next, our quick word challenge for this week. All right, this is just to make sure you are familiar with certain words, which again are very common. So you have to tell me which version is correct. So please, all of you, just take 1 minute to have a look at each of these sentences and then decide which of the phrases are correct. One phrase in each sentence is correct, the other one is wrong. All right, so please just take a few seconds to read each of these sentences and decide to yourself. Decide for yourself which is right or which is wrong. I'm going to ask each of you in turn. Okay, Viet An. Viet An.
Yes, teacher.
Number 1, please, Viet An. Is the correct one bored or boring?
I think it was a long, boring journey.
Okay. Phung Linh. Phung Linh.
I
Bored
think,
or boring? Bored or boring? Phung Linh, which one is correct?
boring.
Boring.
It was
Bao Linh. Bao Linh.
Boring.
Boring. Phung Ni.
boring.
Nok Tu.
Boring.
Anji.
Boring.
Kang Ling.
Boring.
Okay, and Tra Mi.
Boring.
Okay. Actually, just before I give you the answer, just make sure no one else has joined the class while we've been talking. Here we go. Tra Mi, Anji, Phung Ni, Phung Ling, Viet An. Kang Ling, Nok Tu, Bao Ling. Okay. All right. Boring is correct, everyone. Well done. Boring is correct. It was a long, boring journey, not it was a long, bored journey. Many students get confused between these 2 words, bored and boring. Just remember, they are both adjectives, of course. Usually bored, okay, is to do with your feelings. Okay, boring is to do with something. So you feel bored. Okay, I feel bored. The children are bored in class. Okay, so it's to do with a feeling. Boring is to do with something. It was a boring journey. It was a boring movie. The story was very boring. Teacher Rick's class is not boring, I hope. Okay, so boring is to do with something. Bored is to do with how you or someone else feels. All right, number 2. Let me start somewhere else. Phung Ling, Phung Ling.
I call after my sister, but she couldn't
Okay,
hear me.
so after. Phung Ling says after Bao Ling.
After. Or after.
Phung Ni. Phung Ni.
Oh, about
Okay, you say about. Nok Tu. Which one, Nok Tu? I called after my sister or I called about my sister?
Go about.
About, okay. Anji.
I think I called about.
Okay, Kang Ling.
I think it's called about.
Okay, Trami.
Call about.
And Viet An.
I think call about.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So the correct one in this case is I called after my sister. I called after my sister, but she couldn't hear me. Not I called about my sister, but she couldn't hear me. So after is correct. About could be correct, but in a different sentence, not in this sentence. I called after my sister. Call after someone means to say, hey, come here, come here. That is calling after someone. To call about your sister means you call someone, maybe your mother or your father, to ask, what is my sister doing? That is calling about your sister. All right, in that sentence, it would be correct, but not in this sentence. I called about my sister, but she couldn't hear me. That doesn't make sense. But I called after my sister, but she couldn't hear me. So after is the correct one in this sentence. After is correct. Does anyone have any question about that? About why it is correct? Okay, it is the second part of each sentence, all right, that decides whether after or about is correct in this case. Okay, Bao Ling, number 3. The car was hard to park or the car was hard on park?
To park.
To park. Phung Ni,
I choose two.
Nok Tu.
Maybe on park.
On park. Okay, Anji.
I think it's to park.
Hard to park. Kang Ling. Hello, Kang Ling. I'll come back to Kang Ling. Tra Mi.
I choose to park.
Viet An.
I choose to park.
Phung Ling.
To park.
Sorry, did you say two, Phung Ling?
Yes.
Okay. Kang Ling, can you hear me?
Phương Linh ơi, con để thẳng cái camera trước mặt đi con. Sao cứ để có mỗi chỏm chán thế? để thẳng trước mặt đi nhé.
Con hay dùng điện thoại, con không nhìn
I
được.
think we've,
Ok. À thế à?
I think have we lost her? I think we've lost her for the moment. Okay, so the answer is the car was hard to park. The car was hard to park. All right, is the correct answer. Not the car was hard on park, doesn't make sense. So the collocation is always hard to something. In this case, hard to park. Nok Tu.
Yes.
Are you familiar with this word that begins with M? Are you familiar with this word?
No.
Okay. The word is pronounced maneuver, everyone. Maneuver. Maneuver. Okay. As you can maybe tell from the spelling, it is French. It's a French word that English has borrowed. Okay. And maneuver means to move something around. Okay. It means to move an object or yourself around. That's what maneuver means. All right. So if the sentence says the car was hard to park and maneuver, okay, it means it was hard to move the car around, maybe because there were other cars or objects around it. So maneuver means to move around. Can you pronounce that, please, Noctu? Can you say that for me?
Maneuver.
Maneuver, correct. Very good. Maneuver. Maneuver. And like I say, and you can probably tell from the spelling, it is a French word that English has borrowed. Just means to move around. Means to move around. Again, it's quite a common word in English. To maneuver something means to shift it around. For those of you who, for example, if you play chess, you maneuver the pieces around the chessboard, means you move them around. Okay, we're on to number 4, Feng Ni. Feng Ni. I agree with him or I agree to him.
I should agree with him.
Knock 2.
I agree with. Yes.
Anji.
I agree with him.
Kang Ling, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. My nations is not good.
Okay, so which one do you think, Kang Ling?
I agree with.
Okay, Trami,
I agree with.
Viet An,
I agree with.
Fung Ling,
I agree with.
Bao Ling.
I agree with.
Sorry, I agree
With.
with. Okay, all right. Well done, everyone. Agree with is correct. I agree with him that this is the best solution. I agree to, you can have agree to in some sentences, but not this one, okay? You can't agree to him or agree to her. That is not correct. You would have to say, I agree to meeting you for lunch. That sentence is correct, but not agree to him. It must be agree with him. Okay, last one. Knock 2. She was furious that, or she was furious about the news.
I think about.
You think about? Okay. Anji,
I think is furious about.
Hang Ling,
I'm furious about.
Trami,
Furious about.
Viet An,
I think furious about.
Feng Ling,
I'm curious about.
Bao Ling,
Furious about.
and Feng Ni.
Furious about.
Okay, you are all wrong. Sorry, it is furious that. All right, and again, it is the last part of the sentence which decides which one is true in this case. She was furious that the news had leaked out. She was furious about the news had leaked out. Doesn't make sense. Okay, you can be furious about something. You can be furious about the news, but this here, Okay, if you put this on the end of a sentence with about, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. All right, so you need to read the whole sentence to decide which one is correct. You can be furious about many things, of course. All right, but in this case, this sentence, it must have that. She was furious that the news had leaked out. Okay, not she was furious about the news has leaked out. Okay, so that is the correct answer for this sentence. She was furious that the news had leaked out. Okay, I hope that's useful to help you revise your use of words like that. Are there any questions before we go to our next exercise? All right. Has anyone joined since I started the lesson? No. Okay. Back to our word formation exercises. You remember this from last week, where you have to decide, or you have to modify this word so that it is the correct word for the sentence that we have here on the left. Modify the word on the right so that it fits the sentence. And we are starting off from number 10. Number 10. Anji. Number 10.
He was caught shoplifting, so now he has a crime record.
Okay, so how do you modify crime into the correct word, Anji?
I think it's a criminal.
Is correct. Very good. Okay, criminal, everyone, is correct. Anji, do you know what shoplifting is?
Yes, I think it's some kind of stealing things from the shop.
Correct. Very good, Anji. Your vocabulary is good. Shoplifting means to steal something from a shop. Shoplifting is the phrase in English. If someone is shoplifting, they are stealing something from a shop. Okay, Kang Ling. Kang Ling.
Yes.
Number 11, please.
Okay, despite her several disabilities, she's fulfilled her goal in life.
Okay, very good. Okay, this word here, by the way, is severe. Can you say that for me, please, Kang Ling?
Severe.
Severe, okay? And severe is a synonym which means very serious. Okay. Yeah, another sentence would be, she had a severe expression on her face. She had a severe expression or a severe look on her face. What would that mean, Kang Ling? If I said she had a severe expression on her face?
Maybe she's really impressed with your face.
No, not very impressed with your face. Severe, remember, means serious, very serious. So someone who has a severe expression on their face looks sort of like this, okay? They look a bit angry.
Okay.
They look angry or serious. So everyone, this word here is severe, and it is a synonym meaning very serious. So despite her severe, sorry, can you tell me the word again, please, Kang Ling?
Disability.
Correct. Well done. Despite her severe disability, she fulfilled her goals in life. If you are not sure, a disability means you have some problem with your body. Okay, it can be some physical problem. Maybe you can't use your hand properly, so it's very hard to write. Okay, or maybe you can't walk properly. A disability is some problem with your body and your mind as well. You can have a mental disability, which makes it hard to learn things. So a disability is some problem with your body. Very good, Kangling. Tra me, number 12.
Being employed is the worst thing that can happen to someone.
Can you change the word again, please, Tra me?
Is employed.
It is not employed. Okay, it is not employed. Can you guess, Tra me, or shall I ask someone else?
Employees.
No. Okay. So this is the clue here. The worst thing that can happen to someone. Is being employed the worst thing that can happen to you?
Unemployment.
Almost, Trami.
Unemployed.
Correct. Yes. Unemployed. Okay, is the correct form of this. Being unemployed is the worst thing that can happen to someone. Actually, Trami, I don't think that's true. I think there are much worse things, don't you think, that can happen to someone?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. If you don't have a job, that's sad, but it's not the worst thing that can happen to you. Okay, so I don't think the sentence is true. But unemployed, everyone, okay, is the correct version of employed for number 12. Thank you, Trami, and good for you for working it out. That's good. Okay, Viet An.
Yes.
Number 13, Viet An. Number
Okay.
13.
If you buy prevent in the summer, your saving, yes.
Yeah, finish
Can
the
be
sentence,
very
please.
high.
Good.
Can be very high.
Okay, almost correct. That's good, Viet An. Okay, it is saving. All right, savings needs to be plural. Okay, savings are plural. What are savings, Viet An? What are savings?
It to rescue or bring out of danger.
That is one meaning of the word, but not in this case. Not in this case. What is another meaning of savings? That to rescue people is one meaning. Okay, you are correct, but it also has, like many English words, they have two meanings. What is the other meaning of savings? When you look at this sentence, it gives you a clue. Something to do with money. Viet An?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine, Viet An. Phung Linh. Hello, Phung Linh. Phung Linh. What are savings, Phung Linh? Sorry, Phung Linh, your connection, I can't hear you very well. Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Like saving money.
Is saving money, yes. So what are savings? It's a noun. What are savings? To save money. Sorry, Phung Linh.
Yes. Yes.
What are savings? Can you tell me?
I don't have idea.
Sorry, Phung Linh, I can't hear you very well. Bao Ling.
I
I think saving is the money we keep and we not when we don't pay we just keep it.
Yes,
and
correct.
not pay.
Correct. That it's simple. You are right. Savings are the money that you keep. Okay. Savings are money that you keep and you don't spend it straight away. Savings, people usually keep their savings in the bank, of course. It's money that maybe you put in the bank. Maybe you are saving money, okay? That is the verb. You are saving money to buy something special. Maybe you want to buy a new phone, or you want to buy a new laptop, or maybe one day you want to buy your own motorcycle. Okay, so you save money in the bank, and the money you put in the bank is called your savings. That is what savings is. You are correct, Dowling. That is money you keep. So Viet An.
Yes.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you now, Viet An?
Yes. Keep.
Yes. So savings are money that you keep. Okay, so that is the other meaning of the word for savings. Savings is money that you keep. And it is different from when you rescue people. That one doesn't have an S on the end. But savings with an S on the end is money that you keep somewhere, usually the bank. And presents, by the way, of course, is another word for gift, is a synonym for gift. If you buy presents or gifts in the summer, your savings can be very high. What this sentence actually means, everyone, this sentence is a little bit confusing. Often in the summer, prices are cheaper for some things. Okay, so if you buy your presents or gifts in the summer, this is for Western countries, okay, they are cheaper than in winter. That's what this sentence means. Okay, Feng Ling.
Yes. And
Number 14, Feng Ling.
due to the pilots, due to the pilots, guidance has the pilot managed to land safely.
Okay, can you, I can just hear you, Feng Ling. Can you spell the word for me, please?
Guidance.
Yeah, guidance. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You are correct. Due to the pilot's guidance, the co-pilot managed to land safely. So usually big aeroplanes have two pilots. One is the pilot who is in charge, who is the boss. The other pilot is called the co-pilot. So guidance is the correct form. Due to the pilot's guidance, the co-pilot managed to land safely. Bao Ling.
Yes.
Okay, number 15, please.
It's important to also see the less desirable side of the job.
Correct, Bao Ling. Very good. It's important to also see the less desirable sides of the job, which means, what does that mean, Bao Ling? Can you paraphrase this for me, please? It's important to see
maybe to see those. So it is important to also see the thing you want or wish in of the job.
sort of, okay? Less desirable means things that aren't much fun. So a paraphrase would be, it's important to also see the parts of the job which aren't enjoyable, or the parts of the job which aren't much fun, or the parts of the job which are difficult. All right, they are all synonyms for less desirable. Does that make sense, Baoling?
Yes.
Okay, so it's important to see the parts of the job that aren't much fun or that are hard. That is what less desirable means. To desire means to want something. All right, to desire means to want something. If something is undesirable, it means you don't want it. And something undesirable usually is difficult or hard for some reason. Okay, Feng Ni.
I was
16, yep.
I was surprised at his refuse to give up. I don't know how to train this word to
Okay,
noun.
that's fine. That's fine, Feng Ni. Knock two. 16, knock two.
Children are buying ratio.
Sorry, 16. 16, knock two.
16.
Yeah.
I think it's refuel.
Can you read the whole sentence, please?
I was surprised at his refuel to give up.
Good, knock two. That's great. Okay, Feng Ni.
Teacher, I have something to go out. I can go out to help my mom.
What you need to you need to go and help your mum now, do you?
Yes.
Okay. Are you coming back?
Yes, sure.
Okay, see you soon. Thank you, Noctu. Thank you for telling me. All right. Feng Ni.
Yes.
Okay, Feng Ni. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I hear them.
Okay, can you read the sentence, please? Number 16.
I was surprised as he refused to give up.
Okay, so everyone, the word is refusal. Refusal. All right, I'll put it in chat if you are not sure. It is this word here. Oops. Okay, can you see that, Feng Ni?
Yeah, I see that.
Good. All right, so the word, everyone, refusal, pronounced refusal. I was surprised at his refusal to give up. Okay, refusal means to not take, means to say no. A refusal means to say no. So his sentence is about someone who won't give up. Okay, he refuses to give up. He will keep trying to pass the exam. Okay, or he will keep trying to climb the mountain. He refuses to give up. Okay, are there any questions about any of that? All right. We will continue with the rest of those next week. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, what we're going to do is we will take one last look, all right, at our friend, the graph about sporting events. All right, so remember last week I got you to write detailed paragraphs. Now, during the week, I have corrected the paragraphs that you sent me. So I will very quickly, as quickly as I can, go through your paragraphs with each of you now. While the rest of you are waiting, please listen or watch to what I am doing with the other students so you can learn. Okay, this will maybe take about 10 minutes, I think. for us to go through. And after this, we will start on speaking. Okay, but I just want to make sure that you understand the corrections that I have made. Okay, Anji.
Yes.
Okay, Anji, so your first paragraph is correct. Please, Anji, look at the second paragraph.
Yes.
Okay, so I have changed bystanders to spectators. Bystanders is not a synonym for spectators. Okay, spectators are people who are watching something. Bystanders don't have to watch something, okay? They are just people who are nearby. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good, okay? So bystanders and spectators are not synonyms. This one here, 35,000. Okay, this sentence didn't make sense with people greater than athletics. I had to change it to 35,000 more viewers than athletics. And this one here, people aged 15 to 25 watched soccer more than any other sport, is how I finished your sentence. Do you have any question, Anji?
No.
Okay, please remember you can look at these paragraphs anytime if you want to look at the corrections I've made. Okay, thank you, Anji. Trami.
Yes.
Okay, Trami, you will see with your answer, okay, which was almost correct, Trami, but I have made it a little bit shorter because I have taken out some of these words that you don't need.
Yes.
So remember, with this exercise, you can only write 150 words in total, which is not very many. So you need to write as simply as you can. All right? So
Yes.
soccer and cricket reached fewer people. All right. So you don't need to say than the previous two sports. All right. It isn't wrong, but it's not necessary. Okay. The sentence still makes sense without it.
Yes.
Soccer and cricket reached fewer people with 42,000. Okay. And again, don't need to say viewers in soccer and viewers in cricket because I use this word here respectively. Have you seen this word before, Trami?
I have seen this word before, but I don't know exactly what it means.
Okay, it is a very useful word to know for sentences like this. It means, okay, if you say respectively, it means soccer has 42,000 viewers and cricket has 33,000 viewers. The word respectively means you put the first number with the first thing you are talking about and the second number with the second thing you're talking about. So what that means is you don't need to say viewers in soccer and you don't need to say in cricket. You just write the word respectively and it means you can get rid of these words here and these words here. Okay?
Yes.
So if you say soccer and cricket had 42,000 and 33,000 viewers respectively, that means anyone reading the sentence knows that the 42,000 goes with soccer and the 33,000 goes with cricket. Does that make sense, Trami?
Yes.
Okay, good. And again, conversely, that's good use of the word conversely, Trami. That is correct. You don't need to say the number of people, just say people. Conversely, people aged 15 to 25 watch no golf. Okay, any questions, Trami?
No, thank you, teacher.
Okay, good, you're welcome. Bao Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Bao Ling, you can see, please, how I have changed your sentence. Okay, you've got tennis had the most watchers aged from 41 plus. So I've changed that to tennis was the most popular sport with viewers aged 41 plus, right? Viewers is a better word to use than watchers when you are talking about people who look at sporting events on TV or on the internet. Viewers is the more acceptable word than watchers. So always try to use viewers when you are talking about people who are watching something. The viewers watch something, but viewers is a better word than watchers. Okay. I mean, tennis, and again, you can see how I have just changed the order a little bit of the words in the sentence. All right. So Baoling, your second sentence is correct. That's good. So I've just tidied up, made this sentence here, the first one, more correct. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. On the contrary is not quite the correct linking phrase. Okay, you need to say on the other hand or in comparison. All right, on the contrary means something a little bit different. It means completely the opposite. Right, which in this case isn't quite true. You need to say something like on the other hand or in comparison is better. Is that okay, Baoling? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So again, everyone, please, you can come back to this document anytime to look at how I have made the changes and how I have structured the sentence. And again, practice writing how this sentence is structured if you can. Okay, Xialing isn't here today. Duc Nia isn't here today. He's taking classes. Fung Ni.
Yes.
Okay, Fung Ni. All right. Yours is pretty good, Fung Ni. All right. So you can just see I've made just a few changes here. So for this sentence here, Fung Ni, it's better to put the 32,000 at the start of the sentence, not at the end. All right. The sentence is just more elegant and makes better sense in English if you put the number at the beginning in this case. All right. What you have done is not completely wrong, but putting it at the beginning is just better. And again, really, we're talking about viewers. So viewers is a better word to use here than people. Okay, people is okay, but viewers is better because we're talking about people who watch sport, and viewers is a better word to use than people. Otherwise, that is correct, Fung Ni. That's good. Viet An. Viet An.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Viet An. Okay, so just looking at what you have written, Viet An, your first sentence is correct. Okay, that's good. Your second sentence, just please look how I have just changed the structure a little bit. I've moved the words. Can you read the second sentence for me, please, Viet An? Start from
on the other hand, about 13 million people on average age 26 to 40 watches soccer, tennis, or golf.
Good. Okay. So, by the way, this word here, it's thousand, yeah, not million. Okay. On the other hand, about 30,000 people on average aged between 26 to 40 watch tennis, soccer, or golf. Okay, that is a much simpler and more correct sentence. Okay. On the other hand, about 30,000 people on average aged 26 to 40 watch soccer, tennis, or golf. Okay, so again, better not to have the number of people at the end of the sentence. Better to put them at the beginning. And again, I have changed this sentence here. I've made it more simple. All right. Can you read this sentence here, please, Liet An, starting no one?
No one watches as much sport as people at 41 plus. More than 40,000 watches golf and tennis.
Good. Okay. So you can see I've made that, I've talked about the sport, and I just say more than 40,000 watch golf and tennis. Very simple, Viet An. Okay. Yours was a little bit more complicated and didn't quite make sense. Any questions, Viet An?
No, I don't
Okay,
have any.
Viet An. Okay, good. So again, everyone, please, you can go back and look any time at how I've corrected your writing. And if you have any questions about what I have done or why I've done it, please let me know. Kang Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Kang Ling, can you read for me, please?
From the beginning.
From the beginning, thank you.
Okay, people at 41 plus were most focused on watching tennis, golf, and cricket.
Good. Okay, so sorry. So you will see how, remember, this is past tense, this graph. Usually, you always write in past tense for this exercise. Usually. Okay, so focus must become focused. Okay, focus is present tense, focused is past tense. All right. Keep reading, please.
In comparison, people at 26 to 40s enjoy soccer, tennis, and rugby.
Okay, good. So sorry to interrupt, but I just changed this. So in comparison is a better linking phrase than otherwise. Okay, in comparison. This is very useful to remember, Kang Ling, and everyone. In comparison means when you are comparing one thing to another thing. All right, so better than saying otherwise. Just use this one, in comparison. Next sentence, please, Kang Ling.
In the 15 to 25 age group, people watch soccer and rugby the most.
Okay, again, you can see how I've just taken these words out, okay, and changed this word to the, okay? Makes the sentence more simple and more correct. Okay, next sentence, please.
However, this number of watchers, nearly 50,000 people at 41, and 31,000 people at 26 to 40.
Okay, I think you've missed a sentence out. I'll read it for you. However, this age group absolutely did not watch golf. Okay, remember, past tense, so I've changed does to did. All right. Tennis was the sporting event having the highest number of watchers, nearly 50,000 people. Okay. And the last sentence is, in comparison, golf is only popular with people aged 41 plus. And for the 15 to 25 and 26 to 40 age groups, only a small number of people watch it. Oh, I didn't change this. Kang Ling, this word here, what should this word here be? Watch. What should I change it to?
Oh, watch it.
Correct. Watched. Watched. Okay. Okay. Remember, ed on the end of a word is pronounced like the letter T. So you say watched, not watched. The ed is pronounced just like the letter T. So you say watched, watched. Does that make sense, Kang Ling?
Okay, I understand it.
Okay, good. Any questions, Kang Ling?
I have a question. The next graph in comparison. I can use comparisons in one graph.
Yes, yes, you can. Okay,
Oh.
comparison just means you are comparing one thing to another thing.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a better word to use than on the contrary. Okay, it is a better linking phrase to use. Better to use in comparison.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome. So everyone, just before we leave this and get on to our speaking, I have here a model answer for all of you. All right, this is a model answer for this test. You can see number one that I have written in the model answer. It's not very long. Only 150 words are required for this. If this was an actual test, you would have, Bao Ling, how long to do it? Can you remember? If this was a real test, Ielts writing task 1, how long? How long do you have to complete your answer? Maybe what?
Maybe 2 or 5 minutes.
For the whole answer? For the whole answer?
I think it's 7 minutes.
Longer than that, darling. Longer than that. To write all of
2
this.
minutes.
Longer.
Maybe 12.
Feng
I
Li.
don't know.
No, Feng Li. Feng Li.
Yes.
How long? Can you remember? Writing task 1 in the Ielts, how long should you spend? How much time have you got to answer this question?
Sorry, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay, this is worth remembering. Knock 2, welcome back, Knock 2.
Yes, I back.
Yeah, can you remember Knock 2? Ielts writing task 1, how long should you spend on the question?
I
No?
don't remember, I guess.
Okay, all right, everyone forget. 20 minutes, everyone, 20. So for the writing part of the Ielts, I know you are not doing this at the moment, okay? You don't need to worry about it, but it is worth remembering, okay? Because it is important for when you do come to do the test. The Ielts writing tasks 1 and 2, you have 1 hour to do both. 1 hour. Writing task 2 is worth twice as much, 2 times as much as writing task 1. So if you've got 1 hour to do writing task 1 and 2, and writing task 2 is worth twice as many marks as writing task 1, then obviously you will spend twice as long on writing task 2 as you do on writing task 1. Because it's worth twice as many marks. So I think that is fairly obvious. And if you have 1 hour to do both, then that means you have 20 minutes to do writing task 1, and you have 40 minutes, twice as long, to do writing task 2, because it's worth twice as many marks. Does that make sense, Knock 2?
Yes.
Okay. A little bit. Okay, so you have 20 minutes, okay, to complete this. If you saw this in the Ielts test, you would have 20 minutes, both 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes total, both to analyze, that means to work out what this is about, and to work out your answer. 20 minutes, which means you would probably spend maybe 3 or 4 minutes working out what is happening, and then you would spend maybe about 15 minutes writing, so 20 minutes in total, which is not very long when you are writing in a different language, because you still need to leave time at the end of your answer to check for any mistakes. All right, So again, going back to the model answer, as I say, about 150 words is what you are supposed to write. You have 20 minutes to write it. The answer has to be in 4 paragraphs. 4 paragraphs. What is the acronym that we use to help us construct our answer? Anji.
Yes.
What is the acronym that we use to help us construct our answer to writing task 1?
I think it's the graph illustrate.
Not quite. So an acronym, remember, acronym is letters that make up a word to help you remember the structure.
I think it's a POT.
Correct. Okay. What does POT spell in English?
It's a paraphrase, overview, and 2 detailed paragraphs.
Correct. That's very good. You're on the right track. And what does POT spell in English? What word?
Pot.
Yes. Very good. Pot. Pot, everyone. That's what you have to remember. To answer this question, just remember the acronym POT. And POT stands for, as Anji just said, paraphrase, overview, and 2 detailed Paragraphs. Kang Ling.
Her signal is very quick. So she's coming back in 1 minute.
Coming back in 1 minute. Thank you, Mrs. Ha. Okay. All right. Trami.
Yes.
Okay, Trami, you remember POT, do you?
Yes, I remember this.
Good. Okay, so remember with writing task 1, and I'm reviewing this now because we're not going to look at this again for a while. All right, so I want to make sure that you understand the basics now because we're not coming back to this for a while now. We're going to concentrate on speaking for the next several lessons. So POT is the word you remember to help you answer, to help you structure your answer for any writing task 1 answer, POT. So, Trami, paraphrase, overview, 2 detailed paragraphs. Can you remember, Trami, which is the most important paragraph? Can you remember?
I think overview is the most important paragraph.
Very good. You are correct. So overview, everyone, is the most important paragraph of this exercise. And overview, remember, is just a summary of the main things that are happening in the graph. So your paraphrase, okay, is just writing the title. Remember, this is the title of the graph, is just writing the title using other words. So this demonstrates your use of vocabulary. Overview demonstrates that you can read the information on the graph correctly and can summarize it. This is the most important one. This is worth more marks than the other paragraphs. The detailed paragraphs are easier because then all you are doing is just taking some numbers off the graph and writing about them. But the overview, the summary, will show the examiner that you understand what is happening in the graph and that you can write about it in correct English. Viet An.
Yes.
Okay, Viet An, can you please read my paraphrase? Thank you.
The graph depicts the number of people between the age of 15 and 41 plus who often watch sporting events.
Good. That's very good reading, Viet An. That's good. Okay, so this is how I have made a paraphrase of the title. Okay, I have used the word depicts here. I could have used the word shows. I could have used the word illustrates. I could have used the word demonstrates. Any of those words is fine. They are all synonyms, okay? Shows, depicts, illustrates, demonstrates. But you need to know one of them for use in this, okay? The number of people between the ages of 15 and 41 plus, where did I get that from? I got it from here, okay? I got it from here, this box here. 15 is the lowest age, 41 plus is the highest age. Okay, that's where I got this from reading the graph. Who watch 6 sporting events. Where did I get 6 sporting events from? Very easy. I just looked at the 6 sporting events here. Okay, so very simple. So I'll just move that a bit. Okay, so that is my paraphrase of the title. My overview, the O in pot, as I said before, is the most important paragraph. And this is my summary of the main points of this paragraph. Fung Ling. Hello, Fung Ling.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Can you
Fung
hear
Ling,
me?
can you please read the overview?
An overview, it clearly seeing that those who are 41 years of age or older watch sports the most. Those between the age of 15 and 25 watch the less sports. Tennis was the most popular sport and athletics was the least popular.
Good, thank you, Fung Ling. Okay, so again, you can see I have only written 3 sentences for the overview. Again, very simple. Remember, you've only got 20 minutes to do all of this. So you just need to keep it simple. You can see here, I've turned 41 plus into 41 years of age or older to show the examiner that I know what 41 plus means. All right, and the main thing is you can see looking at the graph, people who are 41 plus, the green bar, okay, they watch the most sports. That's very easy to see, okay? And again, very easy to see that the red bar or the orange bar, those people watch the least sports, okay? Tennis was the most popular sports and athletics was the least popular. And again, there's one thing I just noticed here. I could have, or maybe should have made watch into watched, past tense. It was probably better. But the sentence is still correct. So that is the main thing. But to be consistent, I should have probably made that watched and listened to watched as well. All right, detailed paragraphs. Bao Ling.
With an average of about 45,000 viewers, tennis, golf, and cricket are the 3 sports that those age 41 and above watch most frequently. Soccer and rugby are the 2 sports with the most viewers on average, over 30,000.
30,000 is correct. That's right, 30,000 Bao Ling. By the way, some of you put a dot here instead of a comma. All right, numbers like 45,000, 30,000 must have a comma, not a dot or a full stop. And actually, just to go back for the overview, please remember this phrase, it can be clearly seen. All right, you can start off the overview paragraph for any answer or writing task 1 with this phrase. Please remember this phrase, it can be clearly seen. It can be clearly seen. Try and remember that, okay? You can start off your sentence every time or any graph or table or chart by saying it can be clearly seen for the overview paragraph. All right. And again, you can see for the detail paragraphs, actually, there are lots of different things you can put in the detail paragraph. Again, you are just picking out the main points. You are picking out the main points. So you could write differently from what I have written here, and it would still be fine. Because there are many details you could take out of this graph. Again, I have just chosen some of the main ones. I'm not writing about everyone because remember, I don't have much time, only 20 minutes, and also I only have 150 words in total to write. So I'm not going to write every detail about what is happening to every sport and every age group. Just pick out 2 or 3 of the main ones for your detail paragraph. And again, because it's a detail paragraph, you must have some numbers in it. If it's a graph like this, you want to show details. All right. Are there any questions before we leave this all together? Are there any questions? Okay. Kang Ling. Hello again, Kang Ling.
Khánh Linh ơi.
Yes.
You're gone again.
Yeah.
Okay. Thầy gọi
Okay,
em.
Kang Ling. All right, Kang Ling, can you remember this acronym, please? POT.
POT.
Yeah, you can see
Paraphrase.
POT. Okay, what does POT mean for this answer?
Mean paraphrase, overview,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
detailed paragraph.
Very good, Kang Ling. Okay, so just remember the word pot. Okay, pot, P-O-T. To help you answer any question like this, any writing task 1 question. Does that make sense to you, Kang Ling?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, that is the main thing to remember from this. Pot, paraphrase, overview, 2 detailed paragraphs. Knock 2.
Yeah, I just
Knock 2. What is the most important paragraph out of these 4 paragraphs? Which one is the most important?
I think it's 2 detailed paragraph.
No, it is not knock 2. Okay, Anji, what is the most important paragraph?
I think it's the overview.
Is correct. Okay, knock 2. Overview is the most important paragraph. That is the one you get the most marks for. All right. And remember, the overview paragraph is a summary of the main things that are happening in the graph or table or chart. So everyone remember, overview is the most important paragraph. Overview paragraphs, you can always start with this phrase. What is this phrase? Viet An, can you please read it for me? Viet An.
Việt Anh ơi.
One.
Nhanh con bật lên.
Okay, read this phrase for me, please, Viet An.
It can
phrase.
be clearly seen that those
Good.
who are
Okay, that's all you need to say. Thank you, Viet An. It can be clearly seen, okay, is how you start your overview paragraph. It can be clearly seen. Any overview paragraph can start with those words. So please remember this phrase. It can be clearly seen. Okay, which means the graph shows. It can be clearly seen that. And then you go on with your rest of your summary. So again, I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but it is very important that you understand this, okay? Because this is the foundation, the basis on which you will build your answer to any writing task 1 question. So once again, pot, paraphrase, overview, 2 detailed paragraphs. Overview is the most important paragraph because it's worth the most marks, and it's the one where you show the examiner you understand what is happening in the graph. And all overview paragraphs start with this phrase. It can be clearly seen that. Is there anyone who has any question about that? All right. That is the end of writing task 1 for a while. Now, I know that last week I got you to give me an outline of what you are going to do in your talk. Remember last week I asked you to answer a question. All right, this question here, tell me about a favorite object or thing. Okay, we're not going to have time before lunchtime to do this now, so we will do this next week, okay? But I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten about the speaking exercise. What I'm going to do now, though, is just quickly look for the next 5 minutes at what is required for the speaking test of Ielts. I think it's good to have a look at this just because before I reminded you what is in the writing task of Ielts. You need to remember also what is in the speaking task of Ielts. Maybe some of you haven't seen this before or you've forgotten. So I will very quickly show you now, just as a way of reminding you what you need to be aware of for this exam. Just as a quick test, Anji,
Yes,
Anji, how long is the writing test for Ielts? How long do you have for the entire writing test?
I think it's 60 minutes.
60 minutes is correct. Okay. Kang Ling. Kang Ling, oi.
Yes.
Okay, Kang Ling. 60 minutes is how long the Ielts writing test is for both parts 1 and parts 2. How long should you spend on part 1, Kang Ling?
Part 1, maybe 25 minutes.
20.
About that.
20.
Yes,
20,
about
okay? 20
Right.
minutes. And why should you spend, which leaves you 40 minutes to spend on part 2, okay? Okay, okay, so Trami,
Yes.
Trami, why should you spend 40 minutes on part 2 and only 20 minutes on part 1 of the writing test?
Because part 2 is more important than part 1.
Yes, and
And it's
worth what?
worth twice mark.
Correct. It's worth
Than
twice
the
as many
part 1.
marks. Yes, correct. It's worth twice as many marks, everyone. Okay? Part 2 is worth twice as many marks. So, of course, you spend twice as long writing your answer. And if you only have 1 hour, okay, then part 1 is 20 minutes. Part 2 is 40 minutes because it's worth twice as many marks. Please remember this. Okay. Now we'll look at the speaking test. Let me see. Who shall I get to read for me? Bao Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Bao Ling, can you read this first paragraph, please?
Yes. The speaking test lasts 11 to 14 minutes. It is a face-to-face interview with an IELTS examiner. The examiner will make an audio recording of your interview.
Correct, then that's fine. Thank you, Bao Ling. Okay, Phung Ni.
Yes.
Okay, Phung Ni, read this next bit for me, please. Just this.
The test in 3 parts.
Good, thank you. All right. How many parts is the test in, Noktu? The speaking test.
Can you say again?
How many parts is the speaking test in?
Two parts.
No, what does it say here, Noctu?
3 parts. 3 parts.
Yeah, 3 parts. Please remember this. Okay. The IELTS speaking test is in 3 parts. Okay. Anji.
Yes.
Okay. Just very quickly, don't read this for me, Anji, but what is part 1 of the speaking test about? Give me one sentence.
Usually about your work studies or your hometown.
Okay, but more importantly, it is just this, Anji, okay? This first sentence.
You answer general question about yourself.
Good. Okay, remember everyone, part 1 of the speaking test, you just answer questions about yourself. So the examiner can ask you anything about yourself, okay? About your family, maybe, your hometown, all right? What you are studying, what do you like to eat? What are your hobbies if you have anything? Do you have a favorite movie? Do you like shopping? What do you do with your friends? Questions about yourself, all right, is part 1. Okay, part 2, going right down here to part 2, Kang Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Kang Ling, what is in part 2 of the IELTS speaking test? What do you have to do?
Part 2, you give a talk for up to 2 minutes. After
Good.
which the examiner may ask 1 or 2 questions on the same topic.
Correct. Okay, so part 2, all right, you have to talk for 2 minutes on a topic that the examiner gives you. As it says here, you have 1 minute to prepare your talk. The examiner will give you a topic card, all right, which has your topic or subject on it. You have 1 minute to think about this, and you can make notes to prepare. Okay. And part 3, Trami, what is part 3 of the speaking test?
Part 3 is the examiner asks you a question which are connected to the topic in part 2.
Good. The examiner will ask you questions about the topic in part 2. Okay, so maybe if, for example, your speaking topic was, tell me about something you did with your friends that was exciting. Okay, so you have to talk for 2 minutes about something exciting you did with your friends. In part 3, the examiner might ask you, for example, tell me about the sort of person you think would make a good friend. Tell me about the sort of person that you think would make a bad friend. What should friends do with each other, or to or for each other? Okay, how much would you be willing to help a friend who was in trouble? So part 3 are questions related to the topic in part 2. Is there anyone who has any question about that? All right, so just very quickly to make sure you understand, and without looking at this, if you can, Viet An.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, what is part 1 of the IELTS speaking test? Can you remember? What is part 1?
I forget this.
Okay, Phung Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Phung Ling, part 1 of the IELTS speaking test. What is it? What happens?
So they asked me about myself.
Good. Okay, part 1. Okay, they will ask you questions about yourself. Part 1 is questions about yourself. Good. Bao Ling.
Yes.
What is part 2 of the IELTS speaking test?
They give me a talk up for 2 minutes.
Correct. They give you a topic, you have to talk for 2 minutes. Knock two.
Yes.
Okay. How long do you have to prepare your answer for part 2? How long have you got to think about it?
I think 2 or 3 minutes.
No, you have to talk for 2 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
But how long have you got to prepare? Angie, can everyone please turn their cameras back on, by the way, please?
I think it's 5
Thank
minutes.
you. Sorry, knock two?
It's 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Did you say, Angie? No, not 5 minutes. To prepare for part 2. How long do you have to prepare?
Remember it.
Okay, that's all right. This is good because it means I have to keep mentioning this. Kang Ling.
Yes.
Okay, Kang Ling. Sorry, I can't see you, Kang Ling.
My camera just have some problems, so I can
Okay.
turn it out.
All right, Kang Ling. All right. Can you remember how long